Oh my God, the head is spinning so bad. I'm never drinking that much again. I tell you, by God, that nap did help though, but damn, my head is spinning. God. Whew, what is that noise? I know I hear something, but my mind playing tricks on me. Oh my God, I cannot freaking believe this. Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? I cannot believe what I'm seeing. My freaking brother is having sex with our mom. Our freaking mom. Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again, Real Ken's TV and the House Like Kitchen Sinks. Now, before I get into this afternoon's video, if you will, y'all jump in the comment section. Let me know where you're chiming in from. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky. Let me know your city, your state, your hood, your set, whatever it may be that you represent, and let us know if you're the man or the woman that you say you be. Y'all have to excuse my attire. First things first. Just got done working out, and I said, you know what? I need to bring my peoples in them this heat and this action. The show must go on. Now, I ran across a very, very disturbing story. It's not too often that you run across stories of this magnitude, if you will, but the story deeply, deeply bothered me, and I'm assuming that it would bother the average individual. I can't imagine a person saying, oh man, well, what's wrong with that? You got a man that comes home from work. His name is David. And actually, before I get to David, because I'm actually putting the carriage before the horse, let's go back before David comes home from work. You have three individuals. You have a mother, her two sons. Mother's 45 years old. She's drinking, just hanging out, partying with her kids. One of the sons, I want to say, is 27. And the other one he's not even of age yet. I think he's like 19. They're sitting around the house just drinking and, just having a good old time. They get to the point to where they've drank so much that the youngest son, the 19-year-old, he passes out right there on the couch. This particular story takes place in Arkansas. I want to say Bono. I believe it's how you pronounce it. Bono, Arkansas. Shout out to Arkansas. Shout out to my dog, Terry Brown, number 6. He was my 6th subscriber. He's in the House Like Kitchen Sinks always, man. So shout out to Arkansas and shout out to Terry Brown, a.k.a. number 6. And as I mentioned, the youngest son, he's just had too much and he passes out. The oldest son and the mother, they continue to drink. The mother, her name's Latanya. And the oldest son, his name is Jordan. As I mentioned, the mother is 45. Jordan is 27. Painting a picture for you all so you can just imagine. Sitting on the couch, the living room, drinking. The oldest son, the youngest son rather, is passed completely out. About an hour or so goes past, and the youngest son begins to wake up. You know that feeling that you get when you're awakening out of your sleep. You're trying to wake up, and he hears something. He's not sure if he's dreaming. He don't know exactly what is going on, but he's hearing like a moaning sound, a moaning noise. What is that sound? Now, being that he's right there on the couch, I can only imagine that he's thinking that he's hearing these sounds in his head, only to completely awaken and see his older brother, on top of their mother, doing the nasty. He's trying to pinch himself. Like I mentioned, he thought that it was a dream. But he quickly realizes this is reality. For whatever reason, he doesn't want to make a spectacle out of it. For whatever reason, he doesn't jump up and be like, what the F is going on? He lays there and he tries to play it off as though he's still asleep. When later asked, why didn't you intervene? He said that he was afraid that the older brother would jump on him. That's what he said. Finally, after a while, he just jumps up and literally runs out of the house. Again, doesn't try to intervene, doesn't try to stop it. What are you all doing? He just runs out of the house. He runs across the street to the neighbor's house, immediately calls the police. Not sure why that would be the first thing you do is call the police, unless I can only imagine if something like that happened. I don't even want to imagine that happening to me. But I don't think I would run and call the police. I'm going to grab my brother, older brother, bigger or not. What are you doing, bro? Nevertheless, he goes and he calls the police. He's freaking out. He's going absolutely, crazy. Prior to the police arriving, the boyfriend, David, he comes in the house. But when David enters the house, he don't come through the front door. They had a back door. So he enters through the back door. He doesn't hear anything. He's all dirty from work. He immediately just wants to jump in the shower. Story starts to get kind of weird. I'm not sure how you enter your house and you don't hear anything of the sorts, or you don't go in and, hey, I'm home. But nevertheless, he goes in, jumps in the shower. And when he comes out of the shower, police hasn't arrived yet. The youngest son hadn't, come back to the house yet. He walks into the living room. He hears a noise. He believes that his eyes are deceiving him as well. He sees these two individuals, his stepson, on top of his soon-to-be wife, fiance, pumping in a sweat. He freaks out. He absolutely freaks out. He gets to yelling and screaming. The two of them jump up. No, hold on. It's not like that. This is not what you think. How can it not be what I saw with my own two eyes? It's not what you think. Oh, it's definitely what I thought and am thinking. He runs outside of the house. He don't trust himself in that situation because he's ready to put hands on somebody, you heard me? He calls the police. Once the police arrive, the youngest son is back. The two of them are understandably just freaking out, and they're telling the police, the police is trying to get them to calm down. They're trying to explain to the police officer what they both witnessed, what they both saw. The police, they're taking notes. They don't even immediately go inside. They're taking notes and, just getting both of their stories. When all of a sudden the youngest son runs inside the house. In the meantime, while all this has transpired, as far as the youngest son leaving to go call the cops at the neighbors, and then the stepdad being outside, the oldest son has gotten up and he leaves. He doesn't say anything. He's gone. The youngest son runs back into the house while the police is there. Jumps on top of the mom. He's not hitting her. He's not assaulting her, but he's kind of like, he's looking for answers like, Mom, why? Why would you do this? This is my brother. This is your son. Why are you doing this? Police officer comes inside a couple minutes later, probably about a minute later, and he sees the young man on top of his mom. So he goes to grab the young man to get him off of, his mother. Again, he's not assaulting her. He's not trying to hurt her in any form of fashion. But he wants answers. Police officers able to get him and subdue him, apprehend him at police talk, apprehend the subject. They put him in cuffs, bring him outside. He's outside, he's in cuffs, he's crying, he's, Mom, but the mom's still in the house. She's getting dressed, putting her clothes on. She had a shirt on, but I guess she was putting her pants on or whatever. She comes outside. Don't hurt him. That's my son. He's just going through a lot and he's confused right now. He's confused. He has a kid on the way. He's only 19 and he has a lot of stress and a lot of, pressure. Just leave him alone. He was not trying to hurt me. All the youngest son could do is consistently scream out, Mom, why? Why would you do this? He's looking for answers. They take him to the police car, put him in the back of the car. They're about to book him for assault. The mother's consistently saying he did not hit me, he did not hurt me. But the police officer, see, they're always looking to charge you with something. No, I walked in and you had your hand up as though you were about to assault her. No, he did not. He would never hurt me. The son's really not even trying to defend himself as far as saying I didn't hit my mom or wasn't. He was just, as I've already mentioned several times, why? Why? Sitting in the back of the car, police officer, they're trying to get him to admit that obviously all of this is being recorded. He's trying to get the youngest son to admit that he put hands on his mom, and he's not even remotely thinking about that. They go and speak to the mother some more, and they're asking her exactly what's going on. The stepfather, they got him, he's pissed. He done called a U-Haul truck. By God, I'm getting my stuff out this son bitch. I don't want no, she's nasty. So, he's waiting on his people to come or whatever. And so they're questioning the mother. She's been very, very evasive, to say the least. She's only talking about her son and the pressure that he's under. So you weren't having sex with your oldest son? I just want the best for my son. Well, ma'am, I have two witnesses that said that they walked in and seen you having sex with your son. My son needs me, would never hurt me. That's all she kept saying over and over again. She was not cooperative with the police whatsoever. And you should never talk to the police. I don't care if this is gross or not, which it is. You should never talk to the police because they would twist your words around. Always have an attorney. Always. Don't give no statements. Zero. I need an attorney. It's as simple as that. You're not talking your way. They're not there to help you. They're there to entrap you and to hurt you. That's what they're there for. That's why they're interrogating you. Make them do their job. It gets to the point to where the police officers, they get frustrated. The son's not saying anything as far as him putting hands on the mother. She's not saying anything. The police officer has some sort of compassion in his heart. So he said, I'll tell you what, man, if you write me out a statement, exactly what you seen, I won't take you to jail. I won't charge you. Man, I just want to take care of my son, man. My son is, I got a son coming and I'm 19 and I understand that. But right now we're talking about what you actually witnessed. Are you willing to write out a statement, or you want to go to jail, or you want to go home? I want to go home, sir. I want to go home. Okay. And this is what I need you to do. I'm going to take the cuffs off for you. I'm going to give you a pen and paper. You write out what you see. Officer keeps his word. Young son writes out the statement. In the meanwhile, the oldest son, he came back home because they knew where he was at. He was just up the street at the sister's house. How did they know that? Because the stepfather, he said, I believe that he's at my daughter's house, our daughter's house. So they bring him back. They're questioning him. He too is evasive. He's not saying anything. He's basically just ignoring the police. When it was all said and done, they take the mother and they take the oldest son to jail. Don't really charge them with anything. They're just in jail, I guess, under investigation at that point. And they bring them in the interrogation room the next day. They sit in jail all night long. They're in the investigation room. Now you have detectives on the case. The mother, she hasn't budged. She's still, I just want what's best for, I love my boys. Well, ma'am, Why are you having sex with your son if you love him so much? She's not saying I didn't do it. She's not saying I did it. She's not saying I don't know what you're talking about. She's just, I just can't believe this, man. My youngest son, I love him. I love him, and I love that child, and the child's not even here yet. I love him. That's what she's speaking about. That's what she's speaking of. They bring the oldest son in there. They're interrogating him. Initially, when they're interrogating him, he's been evasive just as well. Same way he was the day that they arrested him, the day prior. I don't know. I guess the detectives get to him, and finally, he admits to the detective that he was on top of his mother. It was consensual. He said they weren't actually having sex, but they was about to. They weren't in the act of doing it, but they were about to. He said that they just had a little bit too much to drink. One thing led to the next. And so the detectives confronted him and said, well, while I appreciate you speaking with us, we already have 2 eyewitnesses that said, no, you were actually in the middle of intercourse. No, I wasn't. I was not. They're lying to you. So they go back and forth for a while. And the both of them are charged with incest. The mother and the oldest son are both charged with incest. $35,000 bond. $35,000 bond. $35,000 bond. How am I going to make that? I don't know, but that's what your bond is. So you speaking to the detective, I don't know what that really did to help your case. I know that it got you arrested. I know that it got you charged. When you could have just asked for an attorney or just continue to not acknowledge it. You see, you got some people that say, well, Kens, do the right thing. Talk to the police are not your friends. Talking to the police ain't the right thing. Getting you an attorney exercising your amendment rights is the right thing. Talking to the police is never the right thing when they have you under suspicion or you're charged with something. It's never good to talk to the police. That's what attorneys are for. Nevertheless, he talked to them. They were charged incest. When they had their initial court date, the mom was out. The son was still in. This is a serious charge, but, and they kept trying to get the son to, they were asking him, well, is this the first time anything like this ever happened? When you were young, underage, was she doing anything inappropriately touching you? They were trying to get him to say these things. And he was like, no, never. It's the first time. She's never done anything. It's my mom. I love her. She's never done anything inappropriate to me whatsoever. The mother's out of jail, but he's still in jail. It seemed like she would come for her son. Now, maybe she just didn't have the money. I don't know what the situation. I wasn't there, and they didn't really further elaborate on it. But after a couple court dates, they offered the son a plea deal. Serve 60 days, 5 years probation. You'll be on probation for 5 years. We want you to serve 60 days. At this point, he had already served like 40-something days. So he only had to do, let's just say another 20 days. And then he was going to be released from jail. But in the meanwhile, the mother's case gets dismissed totally. She has an attorney. The son has a public defender. She's out on bond. The son is still in jail. And he can't get out on bond. Her case totally gets dismissed. Why? Because she didn't speak and she didn't say anything to the police when they tried to interrogate her. Y'all rock with me. Stepfather couldn't take it. He left. And to my recollection, he never came back. He was just, his U-Haul was on the way that day. He gathered up his stuff and he's gone. He's out of there. The young man, the oldest son, ends up getting out of jail, like I said, a couple weeks later, 20 days later or so. And it didn't take long. This whole shindigs, for lack of better terms, took place July 4th, 2024. At some point in August, September, the case was resolved. He took his probation. He had to do community service and pay fines. And before the end of the year, he had violated his probation. They sent him back to go do however much time he had to do. Now he's a convicted felon. All that because he had sex with his mother. And they were both dead wrong. Both dead wrong, but I'm not quite understanding how she was able. Yeah, I understand she didn't say anything. I'm guessing, putting two and two together, that the son didn't want to pursue the matters. Stepdad, he was gone. They didn't have any statements on her, but they had statements on him. And so instead of the rotten prosecution just dropping it, because they never want to drop cases, they feel as though, okay, well, we're going to get some sort of conviction out of this. And they got a conviction. Felony conviction. You know, there's some sick things that people do in this world. Every day that I turn on the news or I see something online, I see something that disgusts me. I'm not even going to ask you all to imagine having a sexual relationship with your mother or your father or your daughter, your son, or your brother, sister, uncle, niece, nephew, uncle. Sometimes it if you have a best friend of the opposite sex, it makes you want to gag. Sometimes. But your mother, dude. And mother, your son. I don't care anything about the alcohol and we were drunk and things got out of hand. Now, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, that's not the first time that you all done something like that, because it seems as though it was just too, like, just out in the open and too comfortable. Once the youngest son woke up and seen what you all were doing, you would have thought, first of all, you shouldn't have been doing it, but you would have thought that you would have jumped up and, I'm sorry, but you all continued and kept going. The youngest son said that he was asleep for like an hour. And then when he left, and then the stepfather came in the house, took a shower and walked, and you all was still getting it in. Couldn't have been the first time. It's just my opinion, allegedly. This couldn't have been the first time. This is something that seems as though had been going on, you know, perhaps when y'all got drunk. I don't know. I don't know. I just wanted to bring you all this story. I contemplated on if I was going to tell the story, because I had to figure out how I was going to tell the story. You know, the story gets somewhat graphic. I'm not going to post a link, but you all are more than welcome to look it up. Son convicted of sexual relations with his mother. Bono, Arkansas. July 4th, 2024 is when this whole ordeal took place. Boyfriend's name was David Kendrick. Mother's name was Latanya. They didn't say her last name, and if they did, I didn't catch it. She's 45 years old. And the son, Jordan, is 27 years old, as I've already stated. But this is just for you all that want to, you know, go and look it up. Ken's and making up stories, Ken's. Well, go check it out. Youngest son, I didn't catch his name. First, a lesson from all of this, which is the obvious lesson, don't be doing anything like that. Stephen A. Smith always talks about put the weed down. Leave the weed alone. Well, in this particular scenario, because weed is way more safer than drinking. Put the drink down. If drinking is going to cause me to do something crazy like this, I never want to see a drink again, ever in my life. This is not indicative of the individuals in Arkansas. Once again, shout out to Arkansas. His story just happened to take place in Arkansas. Real Kens TV. Hopefully you like the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive.